Good evening, I'm Taylor Bruck. Thank you for joining us. Athens community members are sharing their opinion on a potential new location for the farmers market. An open forum is happening now at the community center. WOUB's Anna Azalian is there with the latest details. Anna?
Yeah, I'm here at the Athens Community Center campus. What you see behind me here is actually the dog park. And right here, this is what everyone's talking about at the open forum at the community center that's happening right now. There's plans to move the farmers market from where it is now here to the Athens Community Center campus. There's two plans being discussed. One would put a multi-use marketplace that the farmers market would use here where the dog park is. But don't worry, they're not planning on getting rid of the dog park. They would actually move it closer to the community center building. And then in between, you would have improved sports spaces, something like a tennis court, basketball, and a skate park. Now the second plan would leave the dog park here right where it is behind me and would put that multi-use marketplace that the farmers market would use kind of over where the tennis courts are now near the Steak and Shake. And then you would still have those sports spaces in between. Now the open forum I mentioned is happening right now at the community center. It's a sticky note style open forum. You can go in, write your questions, comments, concerns down on sticky notes, and that's happening until 8 p.m. And for now, for WOUB, I'm Anna Azalian.
Thanks, Anna. A second West Virginia county has voted to ban the use of e-cigarettes and vapes inside public spaces. The Cabell-Huntington Health Department Board of Health unanimously adopted the regulation Wednesday. It bans the devices in public spaces such as restaurants and even vape shops, the Herald-Dispatch reported. The Kanawha County Board of Health passed a similar ordinance earlier this month. The regulation goes into effect in 30 days, and violations will be investigated by the health department. Marietta City Council has opened discussions to decriminalize parking violations within city limits. The Marietta Times reports that Chief of Police Rodney Hupp and Assistant Law Director Daniel Everson introduced drafted legislation and amendments to city codified ordinances for review Wednesday. Councilwoman Susan Boyer noted that there would need to be community buy-in. Both Fire Chairman Bill Cossett and Law Director Paul Burtman voiced a desire to allow public input over the next 8 weeks before calling for a vote by council.
Hello, welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Blake Cardesty. Today around the Athens area, we're a little warmer than average out there today. We reached 44 degrees for our temperature today in Athens, and which is above our normal of 40 degrees and much lower than our record of 71 degrees. Our sunset tonight was at 5:38 p.m. this evening, which is 2 minutes longer than yesterday, so we'll be adding about 2 minutes of daylight time onto each day until about the summer solstice. As we right now in Athens, looking at 40 degrees, still hovering right around the 40. We'll be dropping down a little bit later on this evening, but still a little warmer than average out there tonight, and a little dry for the most part of the evening this evening as well. We're looking at some rain showers moving into the area late tonight into tomorrow morning. But as we look around the region, temperatures are hovering mainly in the 40s for most of the area. 44 is our warm spot down there in Ironton, 40 degrees in New Martinsville. Unfortunately, Cambridge, you're down in the 30s at 39 degrees. Those rain showers will be moving through most of the area this night into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a soggy day out there. A little warm up ahead, but some snow's making its way back into the forecast, Taylor.
Blake, is it enough snow to build a snowman?
You have to stay tuned to my full forecast for the details about that.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you. A Cambridge man and woman charged with allegedly sexually assaulting a toddler have both been found competent to stand trial in the Guernsey County Common Pleas Court. The Daily Jeffersonian reports 45-year-old Melanie Young and 31-year-old Michael Smith face multiple charges for rape and sexual assault of a minor. Both are also facing charges of kidnapping. Young's trial is scheduled to begin June 1st, and Smith's trial is scheduled to begin May 4th. If convicted, both defendants face life in prison. The owner of 2 closed substance abuse treatment centers in Ohio has been sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. This comes after what federal authorities say was a massive Medicaid fraud scheme. 39-year-old Ryan Sheridan of Latona, Ohio, apologized during his sentencing Wednesday in Youngstown. He pleaded guilty in October to 60 counts that included conspiracy, healthcare fraud, operating a drug premises, and money laundering charges. Sheridan's Breaking Point Recovery Services treatment centers were outside of Youngstown in Columbus. Authorities say they submitted nearly 135,000 claims from May 2015 to October 2017, totaling $48.5 million. Police say 2 officers shot and wounded a Kentucky man while responding to a report of an armed robbery. Radcliffe Police in Louisville responded to the report around 2 a.m. Thursday and found a man with a knife in the parking lot of an apartment building. Kentucky State Police Trooper Scotty Sharp told news outlets the man went toward 2 officers who both fired at him. The man was flown to University of Louisville Hospital and is expected to survive. Neither officer was injured. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says regional offices will open in Somerset and Paducah to help people obtain new Real ID licenses.
October the 1st, current licenses with the Kentucky Unbridled Spirit logo or the words "Not for Real ID purposes" will no longer be accepted to board commercial planes that fly within the U.S. to visit military bases or to enter federal buildings that require ID.
The West Virginia Senate is calling for a constitutional convention to write congressional term limits into the country's founding document. The resolution draws on Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution to call for a convention of the states to set a limit on the number of terms someone can serve in the U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Senate. It passed the State Senate Wednesday on a 20-10 vote and now heads to the House of Delegates. Proponents of changes to Ohio's voter registration system have begun the process of putting those changes on the November ballot. Ohioans for Secure and Fair Elections is the group hoping to streamline how people register and receive ballots. The group's proposal would automatically register Ohioans to vote when conducting business at a State Bureau of Motor Vehicle offices. It would also allow eligible Ohioans to register and cast a ballot on the same day during early voting and on Election Day. Opponents of Ohio's roughly $1 billion financial rescue of the state's 2 nuclear power plants are ending their attempt to overturn the bailout. The group called Ohioans Against Corporate Bailouts have filed a motion in federal court to dismiss its appeal. The group had wanted more time to get the issue on the ballot for a statewide vote. A spokesperson says they don't have enough money to keep going with the court fight. Ohio lawmakers last summer approved the nuclear plant rescue by adding a new fee on every electricity bill in the state. It's been a long impeachment process so far, and we have a long way to go. WOUB reporter Delaney Ruth will explain where we are now in the process to come. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
The mysterious outer worlds, the solar system's strangest realm.
This is a region of the solar system that we really had very little information about.
Small planets should run out of energy and stop evolving billions of years ago. Pluto didn't read any of those textbooks.
The planets, ice worlds, on Nova.
In Zimbabwe, an unusual bond is forming.
I was filming and the cubs came right up to me. And that was how the whole thing started.
Now we can follow this wild cheetah family extremely close up.
It wasn't long and I was walking with them, sleeping with them, and even following them on the hunt.
Witness firsthand the heartbreaks and triumphs a cheetah mother faces raising the next generation.
Well, I'm just a blues singer.
American Masters presents B.B. King, born a sharecropper's son, Riley B. King. He's the king of the blues.
B.B. King's not just great, he's like great.
Just like, you know, unbelievable.
Join us for his legendary sound and powerful story. B.B. King, The Life of Riley, on American Masters.
The tears were running down my face.
On American Experience.
America was the Wild West for putting all kinds of chemicals into food.
Before Weigly, there was nobody testing to see whether something was harmful or not.
The Poison Squad was a way of getting public attention for safe food legislation.
You have 12 young men eating poison for the people of the United States.
The Poison Squad on American Experience.
A journalism legend from our PBS family has passed away. Debate moderator and longtime PBS NewsHour anchor Jim Lehrer has died. PBS said in a statement that he died, quote, peacefully in his sleep at home. Lair founded the NewsHour television program in 1975 and anchored it for 36 years. He also moderated 12 presidential debates. PBS says that's more than any other person in U.S. history. Lair was 85 years old. For a more detailed look at his life and legacy, stay tuned for a tribute on PBS NewsHour. The House impeachment managers continue to make their case for President Trump's removal. Camila Bernal reports from Washington with the latest.
As House Democrats entered day 2 of their opening arguments on the Senate floor,
the Senate will now hear you.
The debate over whether President Trump's impeachment trial will include witness testimony continued off the floor. Some Republicans finding the arguments of the House Democrats repetitive.
It seemed yesterday was like Groundhog's Day because we heard what we had heard the day before, and I'm expecting more of the same today.
It's just repeating. I'll be interested to see how the president's attorneys respond to this.
Democrats trying to use that as a point to persuade them to join their call.
If my Republican colleagues are interested in some new evidence on top of the very substantial House record, there's a very simple answer. Vote with Democrats to call relevant witnesses and documents.
Wednesday, the House Democrats offered a detailed chronology with an intense focus on the July 25th phone call between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky. Today, they're digging deeper into the charge of abuse of power.
The articles and the evidence conclusively establish that President Trump has placed his own personal political interests first.
The president's defense team will likely begin their arguments on Saturday.
We're going to begin our robust case when the Senate says it's time to start.
And a vote on whether to subpoena more witnesses or documents would come after the defense has concluded their opening arguments and senators' questions.
But there is much more to come. If you are confused about the impeachment trial at all, we have more to come on that. So like you all just heard, President Donald Trump has been impeached in the House of Representatives. And the Senate is currently holding a trial to determine whether or not the president should be removed from office. But what exactly does this mean? While President Trump is currently impeached by the House, he is still the president. This is because he must be impeached by both the House and the Senate to actually be removed from office. In September, the House of Representatives announced a formal impeachment inquiry on Donald Trump and found that his actions were impeachable.
So since the House is democratically controlled, they all banded together basically to get him impeached.
After he was impeached in the House, the trial moved on to the Senate. There needs to be a 2/3 majority vote in the Senate in order for the president's impeachment to be finalized and officially make him not the president anymore. It is very unlikely that the president will be fully impeached since the Senate is Republican controlled. With the way the impeachment looks right now, there is a good chance that not only will President Trump continue to be the president for the rest of his term, but he could very well be reelected for another 4 years since he is a candidate in the 2020 election. Reporting for WOUB, I'm Delaney Ruth.
The World Health Organization says the viral illness in China that's affected hundreds of people is not a global health emergency yet. The decision came after Chinese authorities locked down 3 cities on Thursday and canceled major events in the capital, Beijing, during the Lunar New Year holiday. WHO defines a global emergency as an extraordinary event that constitutes a risk to other countries and requires a coordinated international response. Declaration of a global emergency typically brings greater money and resources, but may also prompt foreign governments to restrict travel and trade to affected countries. Previous global emergencies have been declared for the emergence of Zika virus in the Americas, the swine flu pandemic, and polio. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says he wants to enact some of the strictest abortion laws in the nation. The laws would include banning women from the procedure once a fetal heartbeat is detected or about 6 weeks into pregnancy and before many women know they're pregnant. Similar legislation has been enacted to other states, but then immediately blocked due to legal challenges. Now, the following story might be sensitive for some viewers. If you'd like, mute us now. Actress Annabella Sora made the first of many confrontations today in the Harvey Weinstein rape trials in New York City. Sora told a jury that the former Hollywood honcho barged into her apartment, overpowered and raped her as she tried to stop him with kicks and punches. Weinstein has insted any sexual encounters were consensual. He is charged with forcibly performing oral sex on a production assistant in 2006 and an aspiring actress in 2013. Astronauts bake the first cookies made with raw ingredients in space. That story's still ahead.
And we're looking at a warm-up for the next couple of days, but snow does return to the forecast. I'll have more details about that on my full weather coming up next. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
The mysterious outer worlds, the solar system's strangest realm.
This is a region of the solar system that we really had very little information about.
Small planets should run out of energy and stop evolving billions of years ago. Pluto didn't read any of those textbooks.
The planets, ice worlds, on Nova.
In Zimbabwe, an unusual bond is forming.
I was filming, and the cubs came right up to me. And that was how the whole thing started.
Now we can follow this wild cheetah family extremely close up.
It wasn't long, and I was walking with them, sleeping with them, and even following them on the hunt.
Witness firsthand the heartbreaks and triumphs a cheetah mother faces raising the next generation.
Urban Southern whites with Puerto Ricans and blacks. Housing issues, police brutality. That's what we could all agree on, was for those neighborhoods to come together.
That was the beauty of it. The world was on fire and we were part of that flame.
We're gonna fight racism, not racism, but we're gonna fight with solidarity.
It's the Rainbow Coalition, but it didn't matter what color you wore this with pride.
The first Rainbow Coalition. On American Experience.
America was the Wild West for putting all kinds of chemicals into food.
Before Weigly, there was nobody testing to see whether something was harmful or not.
The Poison Squad was a way of getting public attention for safe food legislation.
You have 12 young men eating poison for the people of the United States.
The Poison Squad on American Experience.
Hello and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. Today in Athens, we have pretty mild than we have been the last couple of days. Looking at 40 degrees right now in Athens. Warmer than average for this evening as well. It's going to be a fairly dry evening out there as well. Light winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region, we have temperatures pretty similar. 40 degrees in New Martinsville, 42 degrees in Ripley, 44 the one spot down there in Nyenton, and 39 degrees up in Cambridge. We will be seeing increasing clouds tonight as we do have a low pressure system moving up from the southwest up through the Ohio Valley area. This low pressure system has good news and bad news with it. It's going to be moving up to our northwest through the Great Lakes region, but it's going to be moving in the counterclockwise motion, bringing up some warm air from the south, giving us some mild temperatures tomorrow along with all this rain. But as it begins to move off to the east, this snow up here is going to be rotating back and smacking us with a little bit of snow by this weekend. I'll have more details about that in just a few minutes. But tonight in Athens, 36 degrees. It's going to be warmer than average, still a little chilly, but not as bad as it has been. And that rain showers will be moving in overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning for most of the day. Overnight and for the Mountain region, 38 degrees in Ripley, 36 in Marietta, 35 up in Cambridge, and 33 in Newark. All of us will be seeing those rain showers moving in late tonight and early tomorrow. So let's break it down hour by hour for you. 8 a.m., 37 degrees. We have a 75% chance of seeing some scattered rain showers out there. Warming up to 43 degrees. Heavy rain showers at times, so if you're out there driving, make sure you slow it down during those heavy showers so you don't hydroplane out there on those roadways. 46 degrees by 4 p.m. It's going to be a soggy evening. It's soggy most of the day, really. Make sure you bring that umbrella with you as you head out the door tomorrow. 46 degrees tomorrow in Athens, 51 degrees in Ripley, 49 in Nyenton, and 47 over in Jackson. So a pretty mild day. We're getting up out of the 30s, but it's still going to be pretty wet and soggy out there. Tomorrow night, those rain showers will be pushing through the area. Some heavy rain showers at times, and those snow showers are going to start moving through the area late Friday into Saturday. So Saturday in Athens, 41 degrees, scattered snow showers. Looking at dusting up to an inch if possible. We'll be keeping our eyes on this and give you updates as we get closer to this weather system coming through. We look at the 7-day forecast. 40 degrees on Sunday, 41 on Monday, sticking into the 40s on Tuesday, 45 degrees, and 49 on Wednesday, 40 on Thursday. Taylor?
Thank you, Blake. The results are finally in for the first chocolate chip cookie bake-off in space. The space-baked cookies, which returned to Earth 2 weeks ago, look pretty normal. At the International Space Station, it takes about 2 hours to bake a good cookie, compared to a quick 20 minutes on Earth. Additional testing is still required to determine whether the cookies, the first food baked in space with raw ingredients, are safe to eat. The official portraits of the Obamas will go on national tour next year. The Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery made the announcement Thursday. The official portraits of President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama were painted by Keenan Wiley and Amy Sherrill, respectively. They have been a wildly popular attraction since they were unveiled 2 years ago, beginning in June of 2021. The portraits will be displayed at 5 museums across the country in Chicago, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Houston.
One Ohio Bobcat has experienced a career month in January. Find out who that is when Newswatch returns after the break. Tonight on your public television station.
Urban Southern whites with Puerto Ricans and blacks. Housing issues, police brutality. That's what we could all agree on, was for those neighborhoods to come together.
That was the beauty of it. The world was on fire and we were part of that flame.
We're going to fight racism, not racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity.
It's the Rainbow Coalition, but it didn't matter what color you wore this with pride.
The first Rainbow Coalition. On American Experience.
America was the Wild West for putting all kinds of chemicals into food.
Before widely, there was nobody testing to see whether something was harmful or not.
The Poison Squad was a way of getting public attention for safe food legislation.
You have 12 young men eating poison for the people of the United States.
The Poison Squad on American Experience.
The mysterious outer worlds, the solar system's strangest realm.
This is a region of the solar system that we really had very little information about.
Small planets should run out of energy and stop evolving billions of years ago. Pluto didn't read any of those textbooks.
The planets, ice worlds, on Nova.
On expedition.
I'm with an expert team pushing deep into South America's pristine jungle. This is the middle of nowhere. To find a lost world never before seen by human eyes.
What do you think? We're completely on our own. It looks pretty intimidating. What's your move? It's incredible. These places are absolute treasures, and we have to do everything we can to protect them. We came here looking for lost worlds. We found one.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Michael Roth. MAC play hasn't been kind to the young Ohio Bobcats men's basketball team, but there have been some positives during the 2-4 start to league play. Ohio sophomore forward Ben Vanderplas had a 3-game, 20-point scoring streak during the early part of conference play. Vanderplas only had 2 20-plus point games all season prior to the streak and set career highs in scoring during back-to-back games against Bowling Green and Buffalo. Vanderplas has also found his outside shooting stroke, making 11 three-pointers during the 3-game stretch. That was after making just 9 three-pointers in his previous 11 games. For Vanderplas, getting back to basics has helped him light up the scoreboard from the 3-point line once again.
A lot of confidence. Our team has a lot of confidence in him. He's another guy I think is putting extra time in, watching a lot of film, watching his shots, his balance, his footwork, his follow-through, and it's really paid off.
Getting in the gym, getting extra shots up, watching a lot of film on the guys who are going to be guarding me. But yeah, mostly just confidence. My teammates, when they give me the ball, they know they want me to try to score, so that's what I've been trying to do.
The Ohio women's basketball team is also plowing through the grind of Mid-American Conference play. The Bobcats traveled to DeKalb to take on Northern Illinois on Wednesday night. Ohio was able to defeat the Huskies 85-79 behind a career-high 32 points from Erica Johnson on only 16 shot attempts. 4 Bobcats scored in double figures in a balanced scoring effort. Ohio made 10 three-pointers, including 5 from Katie Barker, but it was no match for the Huskies' 15 threes. The Bobcats won this game without point guard Cece Hooks, who was suspended due to a violation of team rules. Ohio continues their season on Saturday when they host Bowling Green at the Convo. Tip-off for that game is scheduled for 1 p.m. High school basketball season is heating up with girls action from around the TVC tipping off tonight. The Athens Bulldogs travel to MacArthur to take on the Vinton County Vikings. VC is 7-1 in the TVC Ohio and looking for another conference championship. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes are tied with VC atop the TVC Ohio. They host River Valley tonight as Mackenzie Hurd and company will look to continue a fantastic season. Alexander travels to Meigs to take on the Marauders. Alexander is the only team to beat NY in conference play this season, and their 2 losses in TVC Ohio action have both been to Vinton County. Despite not having a girls basketball team just 2 years ago, the Trimble Tomcats are 12-3 this season and sitting at the top of the TVC Hawking. Trimble is traveling to South Gallia tonight as they will be looking to improve to 13-3 and stay on top of the TVC Hawking. For coverage of all of these games, check out Hardwood Heroes on WOUB or go to woub.org/heroes for digital content. Baseball season might be a couple weeks away, but MLB teams are starting to fill out their camp rosters in preparation for another season. Mitch Longo, a former Ohio Bobcat, received an invite to the Indians' Major League camp. Longo batted .346 his senior season with the Bobcats and .248 for the Akron Rubber Ducks last season. He also drove in 29 RBIs for the Rubber Ducks. Longo was one of 19 players invited to camp, in addition to those on the 40-man roster. There's lots of competition to make an MLB opening day roster, but we will be monitoring Longo's progress from Athens.
Yeah, how cool would it be if Longo made from his home state in Ohio? That would be super cool. Thank you, Michael. Now, staying in Ohio, the Super Bowl might not have an Ohio representative, but the footballs used in Miami will come from Dayton, Ohio. Jeremy Roth has more.
Take a look at how an official Super Bowl football is made. Wilson footballs have been the official ball for the NFL's biggest game since 1941. They're made in this factory outside Dayton, Ohio. First, the leather is carefully selected and cut into panels. The panels are then stamped with foil logos and stitched together. The seams are then smoothed out and the ball is laced up before being packed for shipping. Each team will receive 108 balls and every one meets the NFL's rigorous standards. Now it's just a question of which ones will see action in the biggest game of the year.
One last look at weather for you this evening. 36 degrees will be our low temperatures tonight. A little warmer than normal for this time of year. We will be having some rain showers moving in overnight today and all day tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty soggy day out there. 46 degrees will be our high temperature. Again, rain most of the day, so make sure you grab those umbrellas as you're heading out the door tomorrow. Could see some heavy rains at times, so be careful. Drive around, watch out for those pondings on the roadways. Possible snow showers on Saturday, up to an inch possible. 40 degrees on Sunday. 41 degrees for the start of your work week, and hovering on the mid to upper 40s for the rest of the week. Taylor?
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Taylor Bruck. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.
The mysterious outer worlds, the solar system's strangest